everybody, Dina Wolf here. I am super excited to bring you this amazing topic. We're going to be talking about how emotions tie into our weight. Okay, so as you know, I am a very avid essential oil user. I absolutely love having them in my arsenal, being able to go to my little thing of essential oils and be able to have them for using health benefits and, creating something different in our lifestyle. And so the wonderful thing about essential oils is they're so much more potent than herbs. So we always think of herbs are very beneficial for our bodies, and that's what they use in Chinese medicine. Hi Diana. Hi Diane. How are you? And so we have that option to go to, but imagine having something 50 to 70 times more potent than that. That's amazing, right? So you can utilize your essential oils 3 different ways aromatically. So you can, take a drop, place it in your hand, okay, like so. I have mine with little droppers on them. This is juniper berry. And you can rub them in your hands like that. Smell. You become the human diffuser by putting it in your hands. You also get it topically, which is amazing. And so you can use that way. You could put them in the diffuser, let them go into the air. Everybody gets the benefits, which is nice. That's the fastest way in. We also have topically. So you saw me put it on my hand. You could put your essential oils behind your ears, on your neck, on your chest, on your forearms, on your wrists, bottoms of the feet. The bottoms of the feet are great. We have large pores there. Definitely nice if it's a smell that you're not attracted to. And we do have some essential oils that might be a little bit stinky, but they have such amazing therapeutic benefits. So it's something we want to use, but may not be quite fond of the smell just yet. And the interesting thing is, when we have a scent that we are kind of averted to, studies have shown that that's an essential oil or blend that we need internally. So if you do have something where you're like, ooh, that's really stinky, chances are you might need it. So, hi Nora. So we are going to be talking a little bit about how essential oils help with our emotions. Okay, so we know that, essential oils are something that helps us in the face of any emotion. Each essential oil is tied to a certain emotional component, which is fascinating to me. In doing the research, it's just amazing how these essential oils soothe our emotions so nicely. And we all hold unresolved feelings of pain, hurt, things that we need kind of brought up to the surface so that we can deal with them, so that we can take that step and move forward in our transformation of healing. That's really what we want, right? We want to make that step forward. We want to transform ourselves. We want to be free of everything in the past that has binded us or tried to bound us. And so we want to be able to move forward from that. Now, essential oils actually help the body in 5 different stages, okay? Now, we cannot say that anything natural heals the body. So the body is 100% capable of healing itself. We just need to give it the right tools in order for it to do so, okay? So none of these statements that we're making today have been evaluated by the FDA, not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure disease. We are talking about health benefits with essential oils. These essential oils have been used throughout history for thousands and thousands of years. They were here probably before we were. And throughout history, we've used them, and we see them in the Bible. We see them used, centuries and centuries ago. Synthetic stuff that we're used to seeing has only been here for about the last 100 years. So you do the math. I've done the research, but you do the math. And you decide what you would like to do, all right? So the nice thing is the essential oils actually help our bodies in 5 stages. First of all, the physical body. They address what is physical that our body needs, okay? Then they start to help with our heart, okay? So our heart always needs assistance emotionally, right? And then we have the oils helping us with this, like, releasing these limiting beliefs that we may have, okay? So sometimes we tell ourselves things like, I'm not good enough, that's not for me, that's for other people but not for me. These are all lies that we tell ourselves, right? And so, or I'm destined to be fat, I'm a loser, I'm a failure, every time I start something I can never finish. We all have told ourselves something of that nature, right? And it's almost like we're giving ourselves the ability to cop out and be a failure at that point, right? And so the essential oils come in and help us with that limiting belief system that we have been programmed through from our past, okay? So this is all something that we need to break free from, all right? Hi, Kat. Now, they also help us with increasing our spiritual awareness and then also our connection to our higher power, okay? And then the essential oils also help us with fulfillment of our life's purpose, okay? So since we are looking for that connection to our higher power, then we can make that step forward in learning what our purpose is, right? Because a lot of us don't know. I know I didn't know for quite a while, and kind of woke up and like, oh my goodness, like, that is my purpose. That's why I'm here. And it's amazing once you know what it is. You live a very purposeful life, which is amazing, and you live by design because you were actually created in your mother's womb, and you were uniquely knit by the Creator, okay? And all of us are different, like a fingerprint. There's no two alike. And so, in having that knowledge and knowing that, you can then move forward in serving that purpose, right? Now, we're going to talk a little bit about how we make food choices, okay? And sometimes we make them with an underlying emotion that comes into play with our bodies, okay? And I know that this has happened in the past. We get upset, or we feel stressed, or we feel a little bit anxious, and we want to eat a certain thing, right? That might not be good for us. And so when we look at the different problems that we have, whether it's maybe excessive appetite, we belch a lot, our bowels are constantly upset, we have cellulite or constipation, we're obese, whether we hold our weight in the arms, the abdomen, the hips, wherever we're holding it, those kinds of things. Why is that? And what is the emotion or problem that we're lacking of addressing, okay? Now, a lot of this information that we're going over today comes from Louise Hay. And Louise Hay is an amazing author who has done so much work with putting scripture together with how emotions are tied with our bodies and how we're uniquely knit that way. To have that emotion tied into the body with a certain health result, okay? So whatever's going on here will wear it out here, all right, in the body, and you'll physically see it manifest by whatever it is that we're thinking. So if we always tell ourselves, no matter what I eat, I gain weight, guess what's going to happen? Your body does what you tell it to do. Your cells are listening to what it is that you're saying. Your mouth has to abide by what you say. The words you speak are life and death. It is written, right? Okay, so knowing that, we're going to have some problems that we're going to look at that have to do with food and our appetite and our digestive tract, and what the possible cause is, and then how affirmations and how essential oils are going to come into play and help you balance that out so that you can take that step forward and move past that. Cut the ties from the past. Don't let your past be your mentor. And it's time to be moving forward. Whatever happened to you in the past, I have seen amazing people who have had the most horrible upbringings, suicides at the age of 6, crazy stuff. And they have moved past this, okay, with lots of prayer. So let's take a look at some of the problems that we're going to address today. So let's say we have some excessive appetite, all right? So underlying in that excessive appetite, where we just want to eat, right? We're never satisfied, all right? There's a underlying problem of fear, okay? Needing protection, judging the emotions, and it's really hard to move past that on your own, all right? So when we look at what essential oils can we use for fear, we have a couple that come to mind when it comes to excessive appetite, and that's going to be your lavender, your Arbor Vitae. Okay, so Arbor Vitae comes in a small bottle, and it looks like this. And what you can do is, remember we talked about the 3 different ways that you can utilize your essential oils. So you can take the essential oil, drop it in the palm of your hand, become your human diffuser, and smell that Arbor Vitae. You could put it in the diffuser if you have a diffuser. If you don't have a diffuser, you can use your skin. It's your largest organ, so put a little bit on your wrist or behind your ears. If you don't like the smell of it, put it on the bottoms of your feet, far, far, far away from your nose, okay? And or you can use a different oil, and you can always pair them together. So you can use 1 drop of any of the essential oils that we are talking about. And like I said, you can use them if they're labeled for internal use. You can use them internally. So like lavender, you can use internally. Arbor Vitae, not one that you would use internal, but cassia and cinnamon are also alternatives for excessive appetite. Okay. Now, you also want to tell yourself, I feel safe, and it is safe for me to feel, and my feelings are normal, and they are acceptable. Okay. And so coming off of that self-judgment, judging your own emotions, you're telling yourself when you speak that, the words we speak are life and death, remember? When you speak that, your body has to follow, and you're able to move past that. Okay, so 1 drop of lavender, 1 drop of Arbor Vitae, 1 drop of cassia, or 1 drop of cinnamon. Choose 1. If you don't have any of them, choose 1. You don't have to have them all right? Now, how about when we're doing a lot of belching? What is it when we belch a lot? All right, that's another underlying cause of fear, and that is from like gulping down life too quickly. All right, and so what we're gonna see is trouble on the horizon, because it's like we're constantly taking in, and we're not giving our bodies time to digest what's coming at us, right? And so it's almost like it's coming back up. Okay, and so we would use Arbor Vitae, cinnamon, or you can use birch if you have birch. These are all great essential oils to use. If you don't have birch, don't worry, you can use one of the other 2. And this is really good to say there is time and space for everything I need to do, and I am at peace. Okay, so we're taking the problem, we're looking at the root cause, and we're finding affirmations and essential oils to help move us past that, right? Now, what if we're having problems with our bowels? We can definitely see that that's gonna represent the release of waste, okay? Fear of letting go of the old. Those that get constipated tend to want to hold on to everything, not able to let things go. And we want to be able to let go of the things that are no longer needed. Okay, and so how are we going to work past that? We're going to utilize Digest Zen. Okay, so Digest Zen is amazing for helping you let go, especially of those stools. We don't want to keep that in the body, right? That's waste, and you would never want to have that like hanging out, right? I want to get rid of it, let it go. Also juniper berry, okay, cinnamon again. If you don't have any of those, cassia. Cassia is very inexpensive, wonderful way to help those bowels, okay? And we're going to tell ourselves letting go is easy. I feel free, and I freely and easily release the old, and I joyously work on the new. Okay? Then, if we're having issues with cellulite, so how many of us have that bumpy skin that we're like, ew, right? So when we're having a lot of cellulite, that's a lot of stored anger and self-punishment. Okay, that's what that relates to. And so we want to use ylang ylang, Whisper, which is a female blend, which is amazing. If you don't have Whisper, that is definitely one you're going to want to get. Geranium or cardamom. Okay. And you're going to tell yourself, I forgive others, I forgive myself, I am free, and I love and enjoy life. It's time to let things go, right? Definitely the cellulite. We like, nope, don't want no more of that. Let's have that skin be nice and flat. Get rid of that anger. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Forgive, right? That's another one that you can use is the Forgive blend that doTERRA has. That's amazing for helping to deal with stored up anger and self-punishment. Forgive yourself first, and it makes it a lot easier to forgive others, okay? And a lot of us hold ourselves to such a high standard that we're never going to meet it. We're not perfect. Nobody is. Just Jesus. That's it. And that's the only person on this earth that's ever going to be perfect. So let yourself off the hook. It's okay to screw up. It's okay to be human. Forgive yourself and move on. Okay? Now, constipation, another issue that we have. We tend to, like I said, hold on to things. So that's refusing also to release old ideas stuck in the past, and it's sometimes very stingy. Okay, so that's kind of what we're talking about here. A lot of these things are issues that we have that we cannot let go from the past. And so Digest Zen is a great one. Juniper berry. Cypress is another one if you're looking at something that maybe you might have on hand. And I release the past. The new and the fresh are vital and come enter. I allow life to flow through me. Okay? So that's, again, letting that go. Don't want to have any of that constipation and stool backing up, right? Hi, Michelle. And so then we have, when we're dealing with things like being overweight, possibly obese, we have some stored up fat, that can be caused by an underlying oversensitivity. Okay? We become oversensitive and start holding on to everything. And that often represents fear and shows a need for protection. Okay? So fear may be a cover for hidden anger as well as a resistance to forgive. So a little bit of what we talked about earlier. Do you guys see a pattern here? Lots of fear and lots of anger. All right? And we're going to kind of go through wherever it is that we have that extra weight or tend to be obese in certain areas. If it's in the arms, usually that's tied to the emotion of anger at being denied love. Okay, so maybe we didn't feel loved by a parent. Maybe that parent was very standoffish or resistant to us, and that can come in that form, and it will start to affect the arms. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to say to ourselves, we're going to use essential oils like thyme. Okay. And I have dropper tops on all mine. But thyme essential oil. Serenity is a good one. And then again, geranium. Okay. Hey Shannon, how are you? I'm glad you made it. And then we're going to say to ourselves, it is safe for me to create all the love I want. Okay? And then if we have the extra weight in our hips, those are lumps of stubborn anger at our parents. Okay? And so we're going to look at using oils like ylang ylang, geranium, and cardamom. Okay, so cardamom's a small one. And then we have geranium again, lots of geranium, and ylang ylang. Okay. And we're going to say, I'm willing to forgive the past, and it is safe for me to go beyond my parents' limitations. You know, I know that like a lot of times we don't want to disappoint our parents, right? And so that weighs, it becomes a heavy burden on us as well. And so you do have to live your life in what you were called to do. Like we said, you are perfectly knit in your mother's womb for a purpose and a plan. Okay? Now, in the belly, if we store a lot of our weight in the belly, that's anger at being denied nourishment. Okay? So, were we not loved or fed as a child? Could be physical, could be emotional. Okay? We're going to look at cardamom. Again, lots of cardamom. And then also the skin blend. So HD Clear or the actual skin blend from doTERRA. You can use either one of those. And we're going to say, I nourish myself with spiritual food and I am satisfied and free. Okay? If we have the extra weight in our thighs, we're going to look at past childhood anger. Often it is associated with rage towards the father. Okay? And so we're going to use essential oils of geranium, serenity, thyme, and cardamom. All right? You could choose one, and you're going to roll it. Either you can rub it on the belly button. You can, like the points that we mentioned earlier. So if you just joined us and you're looking at where to put these, they can go behind the ears, on the wrist, on the forearm, bottoms of the feet, top of the head, belly, spine. Skin's your largest organ. Take your pick. Just don't want to put your oils in your eyes, your ears, or your nose. All right. And we're going to say to ourselves, I see my father as a loveless child, and I forgive easily, and we are both free. All right. So the sins of the father get passed down generation to generation. Okay. So whatever it is that your fathers took on, our fathers, whatever it is that they took on, we want to break whatever curses come, right? Now, if we do have an issue with yeast, candida, thrush, you stick your tongue out and it's kind of has that like white coat to it. That can be candida or thrush. And that's going to be caused by anger over making wrong decisions, denying one's own self needs, and not supporting yourself. Okay, so then you'll see things like lots of yeast infections. They can be vaginal, they can be, like I said, in the tongue, they could be in the gut. Okay, all different areas. Okay. And what we're going to tell ourselves, we're going to use geranium and we're going to use oregano, and you can use thyme as well. Okay. Thyme, melaleuca, any of those are great for that. And you're going to say, I lovingly accept my decisions, knowing that I am free to change and I am safe, and I now choose to support myself in long, joyous ways. Okay. And so we're moving past the past. Never let your past be your mentor, right? We want to move forward. We want to take on what we were made for. Okay. Now, some of us tend to have problems with holding on to fluids, like swelling, edema, those kinds of things. And that can be sometimes a problem of weight gain for us. And so take a look at the emotions, fear especially. What is it that you're afraid of losing? Is there something that you're possibly afraid of losing? You could definitely have that emotional component manifesting in the body, especially if you've had like your kidneys checked, your heart checked, and they're like, it's great. There's nothing wrong with you physically. And you're like, why am I having this swelling? Right? Okay, so let's take a look at what is it that you are afraid of losing. Okay, so we're going to use juniper berry, we're going to use cinnamon, we're going to use geranium. 1 drop of any of those in any of those areas that we just mentioned, and we're going to say to ourselves, I willingly release with joy. So it's okay for you to have joy. You got to tell yourself, it's okay. And then if we're having trouble with sleep, maybe some insomnia, okay, trouble getting rest, sometimes it's fear, not trusting the process of life. Sometimes we're guilty, we feel guilty. And so we want to look at essential oils of bergamot, lavender, or the skin blend, or you can use serenity as well. And we are going to say to ourselves, I lovingly release the day and slip into peaceful sleep, knowing tomorrow will take care of itself. Sometimes it's a fear of not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. Sometimes it's a fear of not thinking we're going to get anything done tomorrow. You know, oh my goodness, my day is so overwhelming and it hasn't even started. How many of us wake up overwhelmed, you know? And so having that peace as we go to sleep allows us to rest more peacefully. Okay. Now, a lot of us suffer with things like that end in itis. I'll just say, you know, anything that ends in itis or has an inflammatory response to it, we are going to want to use geranium, whisper, serenity, or thyme. And the underlying emotion that comes with that, and that, you know, we know that inflammation causes weight gain as well. When our bodies are constantly stressed, that cortisol level goes up, and cortisol blocks the thyroid from working, and it blocks your insulin from working correctly. Okay, and so then we're going to have issues with our metabolism, and we're going to have issues with our blood sugars. All right, so stress is not good for us. All right, and being constantly under stress and under pressure, that creates inflammation for us. And so when we're letting things get to us in that way, causing anger and frustration about the conditions that you're looking at in your life, you know, we're like, oh my goodness, how did I let my life get like this? You know, and then you become really frustrated and you start to project a lot of that onto yourself, right? Like we talked about in the beginning. We maybe are having some fear or seeing red, or we have this like inflamed thinking. There's times where we always think the worst of people and we have these negative thoughts. Those are toxic thoughts to you, and they're toxic to other people. Because what happens when we don't value ourselves? We start verbally assassinating people, right? So we definitely don't want that happening, because then what does it do? Makes us feel guilty. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. You know, oh my goodness, my friend's crying now. I didn't mean to hurt her like that. When really you're mad at yourself, you know? So what we want to do is start playing different program in your head. We want to reprogram this. That 6 inches between your ears is the most valuable real estate there is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? So please, 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 if you are having those kinds of thoughts, it's not abnormal. Don't think there's something wrong with you. We all have them, okay? But we need to find what's underlying. Why are we doing that? Is it something from the past that we're afraid to let go? Are we afraid to move forward? Are we afraid to serve our purpose? Usually fear or anger. It's one of those two, more than likely. And these essential oils that we're talking about address all those, okay? I'll give you a list for fear, and I'll give you a list for anger at the end. Okay, so stay tuned. And you can tackle them with your essential oils and by reprogramming this. Okay? So when we have that inflamed thinking, we need to change that program and say, my thinking is peaceful, calm, and centered. Okay? I am willing to change all patterns of criticism. I love and approve of myself. So put your essential oils on, smell them, and when you're breathing in those aromas from your essential oils that help to change that programming and help you to feel more uplifted and positive, it's going to be nice and quick. okay, versus trying to do it on your own forever and ever and ever. All right. Now, I have had some issues with people telling me I have, like, all my issues are on the right side of my body, okay? And when everything tends to be on the right side of the body, we see things like poor boundaries, okay? We have the underlying cause of it being like giving out and letting go of the masculine side of your energy. And usually it's geared towards like a father figure in your life, maybe from the past or current, okay? Men, mostly geared towards men. And so we really need to reestablish those boundaries. It is completely healthy to have good boundaries, okay? If you don't establish good boundaries, you get overtaxed. What happens when your gas tank's empty? You quit going, right? And so us as moms, we are super, super guilty of this. We give to everybody in the family, but nobody's filling our gas tank, all right? So we need to make sure that we are connected to our number one, our creator, okay? He fills our gas tank. And then we need to make sure that we have good boundaries, and especially time management, so that we are not overtaxing ourselves, okay? And so we want to say things, we want to use cardamom and oregano for issues that are happening on the right side of the body, giving out. And we want to say, I balance my energy easily and effortlessly, okay? So that's what you're going to say to yourself. If we have issues with the teeth, those tend to come from indecisiveness and represents trouble making decisions, okay? Now, a lot of us caregivers tend to have trouble making decisions. If you haven't noticed, where do you want to go for lunch? I don't know, you decide, right? And especially those that are motivated in life by serving others. These are the people that tend to have those troublemaking decisions. And then also we have a clear issue with setting good boundaries as well. Okay, that's a skill that we need to learn and nurture. So if we are having issues with the teeth, we can use On Guard essential oil. We can use peppermint. We can use lemon. And we want to say to ourselves, okay, I make decisions based on the principles as truth, and rest securely knowing that the only right action is taking place in my life, okay? Don't worry about writing everything down. I will, those of you that are on my team, I have a printout for you that you will get, and I'll post that in the Holistic Harmony Forum, okay? Now, I did promise you those lists for fear and anger, okay? And then also I do have a list for guilt, and it's a lot of the essential oils that we talked about, above a couple extras. So for fear, if you notice that your underlying issue is fear, you can use any of these essential oils or blends to help your body, all right? You can put any of them on, wrist, behind the ears, bottoms of the feet, spine, chest, wherever it is that you feel comfortable putting your essential oil. If it's something that you like the smell of, put it somewhere close to, where you can smell it really easily. Okay, and so Arbor Vitae for fear. This is our fear list, okay? Arbor Vitae, so we have that in our 5 ml. Juniper berry. Juniper berry is an extremely powerful neurologic oil. I'm not sure if you have watched the video that Valia did on juniper berry, but it is a phenomenal essential oil, and I know that I've heard Dr. Sue Lawton use it for concussions and neurologic vagus nerve issues. So someone who has had maybe some cardiac vagus nerve stuff happen, great for that as well. Cassia, another one that's great for fear. Cinnamon. Cinnamon comes in a 5 ml. Jasmine, if you do have jasmine. Birch, if you have birch. Okay, we get this at convention. If you're able to go to convention, they usually, doTERRA put these in a convention kit for us, and birch is amazing. extremely beneficial for inflammation in the body. Cypress, lavender, and myrrh. So all of those great for fear, okay, or feelings of fearfulness. Now, anger, we can use cardamom. Here's my cardamom. We can use thyme. We can use serenity, geranium, ylang ylang, the skin blend, or whisper. All of those are great. And if you do have someone that is angry all the time, I highly recommend diffusing ylang ylang, geranium, and a citrus. So the citrus can be lemon, lime, bergamot, wild orange. We've got a couple new, red mandarin, I believe, and kumquat. So any of those, if you have them. And then for guilt, bergamot, lemon, peppermint, and the skin blend. Okay, so like HD clear. All right, so you can use any of those, any of the spots that we talked about. You can also drink your citruses in water if it's a citrus. If you don't like the smell, put on the bottoms of your feet like we talked about. Now, I do love having the ability to know what foods to eat as well. So the emotional component of it is one aspect of it, but then we also have the physical aspect of it. So what is it emotionally that is making us want to eat a certain way? Okay, is sugar and overeating and indulging, is it serving a purpose? Is it serving us? Not usually, right? So we need to kind of look at what foods are for our bodies. Do we eat to live or live to eat? Okay, so like take a look at some of the choices that you're making, if it's you or a loved one that you're helping, okay, and seriously think, like, how is this going to nourish my body? All right, so we do something called the Zyto Biocommunication Survey. It uses this hand cradle. You put your hand on here, and it reads the galvanic skin response in the body. So basically, you are a bunch of electromagnetic energy. That energy gets read and recorded into the software. It does use the same technology as a lie detector, very similar. And so it is a wonderful way to determine exactly what foods your body will do well with, and then the ones that your body won't do well with. And I love that we get to use this awesome printout. I don't know if you can see it, but it's showing all the positive foods for this person, okay? And it even breaks them down into categories. So you'll see things like beans and legumes, your beverages, your fats, your dairy, your nuts, spices, seeds, sugars, vegetables, fruits, okay, all the different things that we eat, okay? And we are going to be getting an updated version so we can take into consideration things like gluten-free diet, soy-free, nut-free, those kinds of things, which is amazing. Okay, now I love too that just from that little hand cradle, we also see things like emotions, all right? So we see that this person has a lot of love. So the ones that are farther over are more intense. So we have a lot of love here, but we also are seeing some anger and angry, okay? And so we can address these emotions with essential oils and tell exactly which essential oils would be best to help balance your specific needs, okay? And we do this in, I'm out of Texas, but I do have a lot of people in California that have the hand cradle, okay? And so we're able to do this remotely. We have you either meet up with one of them that has the remote, that has the hand cradle, or we can ship out a hand cradle and you can do it from your PC. It does not, it's not compatible with Mac, not yet. But it's a great, awesome tool to know exactly what foods are best for you. Now, we've had quite a few people do this amazing scan, okay, and we work with a cardiologist office in Apple Valley, and he has a weight loss program, which is amazing. And what he does is he has the people that will volunteer to do the food scan are coming in and doing the food scan, and they're losing more weight than the people on the regular the meal plan. Okay, and so because what we're doing is we're determining exactly what your body's asking for, okay, via the skin response. And so it's an amazing tool to have and to be able to share with somebody. So we had one girl a few weeks ago, she did her scan about a month ago. She dropped 20 pounds in the first month just getting rid of gluten. She had no idea she didn't tolerate gluten. We told her she had a gluten sensitivity to eliminate it from her diet, and she's dropped 20 pounds. Results not typical, okay? But isn't that amazing? And then I've had another guy who gave up beef, and he's Hispanic, and he's like, I love my carne asada. What am I going to do? And so we're like, just give it up for 6 weeks and let's see how you do. Well, in that 6 weeks, he ended up losing 22 pounds. And so he did a reevaluation, and he's like, I am never eating carne asada again. I don't even care. I feel so good. I feel like I'm back in my 20s again. I have more energy. I'm more focused. I just feel so much more alive, which is amazing. So we're helping people get their health back, and that is what we love doing. I love having them come back to me and tell me their amazing results. We had one lady who was suffering from inflammation. She had just pain everywhere, lots of autoimmune disorder, diabetes, and that kind of stuff. And so we did the food scan on her. She eliminated just a handful of the foods that were in there that she was eating. She's like, I eat that a lot. So let me eliminate it. Within 1 week, pain gone. Okay? That is how much food determines how we feel. Isn't that amazing? Was it Hippocrates that said, let food be thy medicine, right? He is right. We were birthed in the Garden of Eden, right? So, that being said, 80% depends on what we're putting in, okay? So, if you're looking for a way to really determine what it is that your body is needing, we do have a program for you. And if that's something that you're interested in, we are doing interviews currently for this program. If you qualify, let me know if you're interested. Just put a little comment below. And if you qualify, we can see about getting you in. We're only taking a handful of people to this actual program because it's a very intimate program. All right. And so I really, really, really hope, food is medicine. You are right, Diana. I really, really hope that this information was valuable for you. And if you have any questions at all, you need help getting your essential oils, or you need more information on any of this, the actual essential oils and the emotion that it's tied to and the physical aspect that it's tied to, I'll give you that printout. And we look forward to hearing from you. We are super excited to serve you and to be on this wellness journey with you. We have an amazing team of individuals who love, love, love what they do. And we are super, super, super excited. So we look forward to hearing from you. You all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here with me on Thursday night. Bye-bye.